We are live.
Indeed, we are. Time to put out the bat signal.
The lion signal.
Live in Leo TV. Come ask your whens and get your soons.
Yep.
That's a great marketing line. Come ask your whens and get your soons. So we have December 13th. It is winding out. The year is almost done. Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the Eastern. Sometime in the evening over on the European side. And all the time in your hearts. All the things, Leo, that have happened in the past 2 weeks. And there are things.
There are things. That is true.
There are many, many things.
Yeah, let's jump into those things.
Yeah, let me unmute Discord. Let's lead off with the update on the Leo ecosystem.
Yeah, we've got so today I'll just jump off with today. We released the November Cub report a few days late. In it, I added a few sections and we talked about the new arbitrage bot, and Mitch and I were just talking about it pre-show. The dev and I think that this arbitrage bot will most likely 2 to 3x current revenue on Cub. And if you check out the report, I'll give you the quick synopsis. But the monthly revenue for November, which was a record month for wrapping revenue, was $9,125. That was generated by the Cub DAO. That is a pretty significant amount of money relative to what is paid out to LPs from the Cub ecosystem. So Cub pays LPs at current prices. Cub pays LPs $17,640 every month, and so obviously 9,125 is a little bit more than half. It's like 52% of how much is paid out. So the Cub DAO bought and burned over 400,000 Cub last month, which means that over 50% of the inflation was bought and burned by the DAO, which is very significant relative to what the Cub DAO was doing before Beehive and BHBD launched. That means that, you know, before the launch of the multi-token bridge, I think we were burning like somewhat, it was like sub 1%. I think it was like 0.8% or something of monthly inflation. So that obviously was one of the big contributing factors to Cub going down in value since the launch. You know, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of mistakes and successes to eventually find this multi-token bridge strategy that I think is working extremely well. So, you know, I was telling Mitch pre-show that the growth of Beehive and BHBD liquidity has been pretty consistent, but it is, you know, it's a slow grind. So what you're seeing every month, and I'll drop a screenshot in Discord chat. What you're seeing every month is, you know, a pretty steady and consistent growth in terms of liquidity in the protocol. And that consistent growth is leading to pretty much a proportional growth in revenue each month. So if you check out the revenue in August, which was the first month of the multi-token bridge, generated about $4,500. And then in September, it generated about 7,000. October generated about 8,000. And then in November, it was 9,125. So that's a pretty solid level of growth each month. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty consistent and it's very proportional to the amount of liquidity that's in there. So the multi-token bridge liquidity in November grew to $695,000. And in October, it was at 682,000. So that's about, what, $15,000, $13,000. The key piece of that, though, is that in the month of November, crypto dropped about 10 to 15%, maybe even a little bit more. So despite that drop, the multi-token bridge TVL actually increased, which basically means that the amount of tokens increased by a lot, because the dollar value of those assets actually dropped. And it's mostly just Hive and Cub that dropped in value. The HBD obviously doesn't drop. So the value of those dropping a little bit definitely offset some of the increase in TVL that we would have seen. I think we ran the numbers that if the market had stayed where it was, I think we would have over 750,000 in MTB TVL right now. But obviously what we want to see is just consistent growth, right? So, and if the market recovers, that'll mean even more TVL growth, since obviously like on a per token basis, it's a lot more than it was in the previous month. So the goal is really just raising that liquidity every month. And you're seeing a pretty positive effect in terms of the amount of revenue that's being generated from that liquidity. So if you want the full breakdown, you can read the report. It's 18 pages. And in that post, we talked about closing the gap, which is closing the gap of the incentives paid out every month with revenue generated by the Cub DAO. So, last month we generated $9,000 and we paid out $17,000. So we only have, $8,000 more dollars that needs to be generated each month for Cub to be deflationary. Because if Cub, let's say that, especially with the new ARB coming out, let's say that the revenue jumps from $9,000 a month to $18,000 a month. So it doubles. And it's been growing by about, 10 to 20% each month already. So, it's not going to take very long. I was telling Mitch, I think with the ARB combined with just general growth, we'll probably see, the revenue at $18,000 somewhere around probably February 2023, which is only, 2 months away. So let's say that it's $18,000 a month. We're paying out $17,000 a month in incentives. That means that more than 850,000 Cub is being bought back and burned every month. And the supply of Cub will actually start to decrease, which is, super positive. So, there is a great benefit to this kind of slow and steady growth that we're seeing. We're not seeing Cub like explode in value with people anticipating that, the growth is happening. I actually think it's a really good thing that we're not seeing that growth yet, because that means that the incentives paid out are lower. Because obviously the $17,000 per month is based on the Cub price, right? So that's Cub at, like 2.1 cents or something. So if Cub goes to 4 cents, that means that we're paying out $36,000 a month in incentives. So the DAO needs to grow accordingly. So what we want to see is that kind of slow and steady grind upwards. That means that, the DAO is able to grow its revenue consistently, and the incentives being paid are allowed to grow, consistently with it as well. So that's where a lot of focus and attention has been, just kind of going out. A lot of what I've been doing lately is making the rounds, trying to talk to Hive people about LPing Hive and HBD on, the Cub protocol. And there's a broader thesis to that is in the benefit of Hive. Obviously, this is a big benefit to Cub as well. But one of the big benefits to Hive is that I have a belief that we need to decentralize the liquidity on Hive. You saw FTX blow up, you saw, various exchanges blow up. And even if you go back to the inception of Hive, you saw exchanges like Binance utilize, customer funds to vote in governance. The only solution to all these problems is to decentralize liquidity, move it onto multiple centralized exchanges and also multiple decentralized exchanges, and also get yourself derivatives. So BHBD and Beehive offer those derivatives that I think are extremely necessary for the future of Hive. And as someone personally having a whale stake in Hive, I want Hive to succeed. I want it to be successful. I want it to be safe and secure. So this is like there's a selfish reason, which is I think it's going to help. I mean, you can already see that it's helping Cub. by burning this much per month. And the non-selfish reason is that I want Hive to succeed, and I think this is necessary for that to happen. So if you're listening to this, pool your Hive and HBD on Cub and grow the liquidity. So that's the Cub report. I feel like it kind of speaks for itself if you want to dive into the details of it. The next major thing is the Leo UI. So the new UI is coming along really, really well. And I've teased it on Twitter a lot this past month, that we're looking to release it before Christmas. So sometime between now and Christmas, you'll have the new UI in your hands. We're going to release it as an open alpha initially. And then, after some testing, we obviously need to do a lot of testing. This UI was built completely from scratch. So there's going to be bugs. There's going to be things that need to get fixed, and, we'll need your help testing it. But the plan is to implement it sometime between now and Christmas, and then test it for maybe say like 1 month or so. And then sometime in January, most likely, we'll actually replace the production UI with the new one. So for about a month, you'll have both LeoFinance.io and you'll have, the alpha LeoFinance site, which will have its own URL for testing. And the team's excited. It's going to completely change the way that we all use LeoFinance. I think one of the big changes for LeoFinance is kind of the entire vision of the platform. And I wrote a post yesterday from my personal account about it. But I believe that with the new UI, and you can kind of see it's literally is Project Blank. So we're, instead of launching our own, separate spin-off Project Blank platform, we are basically merging that with LeoFinance, and then building out a platform that is far more resilient, far more capable of bringing in the masses. So a few big things with this UI are going to be ease of use and ease of onboarding. So we already kind of solved the onboarding last year. If you remember, we built Leo Infra, which allows you to sign in instantly with Twitter. And then we added Facebook and Google and phone number sign-ins. So we made it super easy to sign up and sign into LeoFinance. The problem is it's still LeoFinance, it's still Hive, it's still long form content and somewhat confusing to wrap your head around. The new UI puts threads on the front page. It puts threads front and center. And if you take a normie off the street who's ever used Twitter and tell them about LeoFinance and show them the site, they're going to be like, oh, this is like Twitter. And you're like, yeah, it's exactly like Twitter. They sign up within 30 seconds and they can make their first thread, and they realize that it's identical to Twitter, except you're earning crypto for what you're doing. And it's actually funny because I was out with some friends a few weeks ago, and I was showing off the new UI a little bit. And I told one of them, I was like, here, just like take my phone, see what you can do. And, he took my phone, he created an account, signed in, and made a thread in like under 1 minute. And he's like, so you earn, and he obviously had no idea what LeoFinance was. He's like, so you earn crypto for making like tweets. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like you do what you would do on Twitter, but you do it here and you're earning crypto. And he was like mind blown by that. So it's, this new UI is going to radically change the way we onboard people to LeoFinance, which brings up another interesting point about what kind of content is allowed on threads, what kind of content is allowed on LeoFinance. And that's what I talked about in my post yesterday. I believe in a open Web3 world where technically anything goes, right? So I believe that everyone has the freedom to say what they want to say on the platform, but then the community decides what gets rewarded, what gets voted to the top, what is seen the most. So in that post, I kind of talked about how I like the ideas that Elon Musk has talked about with Twitter, where what he's doing is essentially what he's doing is he's saying that like, if you're not verified and other various, characteristics that he's going to use to kind of label accounts, your content won't be shown as high as other people's content, right? So it basically puts certain content up front, and then it puts other content beneath it. So with Threads and with the new LeoFinance UI, this is exactly what we're going to do. So in my opinion, LeoFinance is a crypto Twitter killer, right? We're still focused on crypto, still focused on finance. That's the whole LeoFinance brand. But with that being said, you can still post anything. Like I'm looking at the UI right now, and someone posted, a picture of a TV show that they're watching, and one sentence about it, just kind of talking about it. And that obviously has nothing to do with crypto and finance. But are we going to remove it from the platform? Are we not going to allow that? Or are we going to, frown upon people using the platform for that? And in my opinion, no. I think that the real path forward is segmenting the UI and allowing people who, if you want to talk about movies, there's a movie community where you can make threads and LeoFinance posts about movies. And yeah, that might not build the brand of LeoFinance in terms of crypto finance, but it does give people engagement. It gives people a reason to be on the site, and they can build their own echo chamber of people in their own community page. So in my opinion, what we're going to be doing with this LeoFinance UI, the new one, is creating a lot of different pathways to push content to the top, and to also segment content. And if you want to see something, like if you want to only see threads and posts that are related to Splinterlands, then there are places in the UI where you can go, and that is all you're going to see. And if you want to see, posts about movies and threads about movies, there's places on the UI where that's all you're going to see. And that's how these platforms, like if you look at the success of Twitter, and especially of something like TikTok, the way they got successful was you open your TikTok app and your homepage feed just shows you only what you want to see. And obviously they're doing it in a more interesting way with, complex algorithms on the back end. And I think we will build algorithms that are similar. Obviously that takes a long time. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of devs. But we can do kind of interesting things with blockchain that they can't do with those algorithms. And we can also give the users various tools and settings that can change what is shown to them. So, the long-term vision is that you'll be able to go into your settings page and you'll be able to do things like turn off posts. So then you only ever see threads, you never see a post, or turn off threads and you only see posts, you never see threads. Or mute. This is actually an idea from One Alpha. I put out a thread last night and asked for suggestions for how to make the content discovery process better on threads, and he gave me a good idea to be able to mute tags so that you don't see threads that have a certain tag. So let's say that you don't want to see anything related to movies, and like I'm looking at this one thread by Drax about a movie and he used the tag movies. You can mute the tag movies, and now you will no longer ever see content related to, or ever see content that has the tag #movies in it. So now you've already begun to filter out things that you don't like, and that's all on the user side. And then obviously our backend is handling that. This is where everything is headed. So in my opinion, LeoFinance is now opening up to a broader audience. Anyone on Hive, anyone on Twitter can come to LeoFinance, and they don't have to care or talk about crypto and finance. But our personal brand, the product brand, is that we are a crypto Twitter killer. Our mission is to bring everyone who is into crypto and talking about crypto on Twitter over to Threads and LeoFinance. And that is, that in my opinion, that's the core branding. But on top of that, you can still use Twitter for anything. And LeoFinance is going to be the same, where you can still use LeoFinance for anything. But obviously when you want to see just crypto, or when you want to see just Splinterlands or just movies, you have ways to do that, and you have the tools to do that. Our current monthly active users on LeoFinance are about 600. And in my opinion, with this new UI, growing to say 6,000 monthly active users is going to be a lot more achievable. We're going to be able to go up to normies, and when Mitch, you're at a conference, you're going to be able to show them the new LeoFinance, and you're going to show it to them on your phone, and you're going to say, here, you just click these buttons, you sign up in 30 seconds, and now just use it as if you're using Twitter. and then, you know, check in on your wallet once a week or once a month, and you're going to be earning crypto. And you know, you're going to be incentivized for replying, for upvoting, and all the good things like that. Obviously long-term also like referral systems, all sorts of crazy things. These are all getting pushed to the new UI. So this is the original, all this work that we've done. This was the Project Blank UI, but now we're just merging it with LeoFinance. And now it is LeoFinance is Project Blank. And I know a lot of people still have questions about that, but yeah, Nifty's saying this is the way. I think this is the future of LeoFinance is in opening up the platform. And like I said in that post, I think one of my favorite new taglines is richness in nicheness. So being niche to the crypto finance space is still extremely important to me. I think that it's important to have a focus, especially when you're a platform as small as we are. Like with Twitter, they can just say, yeah, whatever, it's Twitter. But you know, everyone knows what Twitter is. Nobody knows what LeoFinance is. So it's important to have a singular brand image, but then also allow everything. That's what Web3 is about. So allow everything, but utilize the tools at our disposal to create a customized user experience for each person. I want you guys to come to LeoFinance and be like, just on your homepage, and you just see all sorts of content that you want to see, and all sorts of stuff that you don't want to see. You just never see it. And that's the goal.
Awesome stuff. I've been plugging away at the recap post with all the updates. And obviously, if you look and refer to multiple reports, they can look at the burn report post, and then they can also look at the post that you did touching on everything of thread related updates, which I had actually looked at earlier today to kind of get the vibe for it all. But yeah, so I'm looking through the chat here and I see a few interesting things. What is this? How Daryl Roll said, can I steal the easy sign-ins for Skate Hive? That would be a huge help onboarding non-crypto skaters. That's interesting. I'm assuming that's literally a skate community. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, all the community. I mean, the community pages, you can see what we've kind of done. That's like the alpha of community pages is what's on the current LeoFinance UI. You know, that idea of community pages is still extremely important, in my opinion, to the future of LeoFinance. So we learned a lot by implementing the current version of community pages, but with the new UI, we're going to completely change that. We're going to take everything that's working, and then we've got a few other ideas to add into it. But like I said, if you want to see threads and posts about Splinterlands, you'll be able to hit the Splinterlands community page, and all you're going to see are posts and threads about Splinterlands.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I was saying in the recap, is that, you know, it's kind of going to be all parties are welcome. And then, you know, community pages is one of many ways to see specific content, or really just to, you know, chat about a specific topic. So I think community pages is important.
Yeah.
For, you know, like even like the skate community, whatever it is, like start a community page and then onboard, you know, kind of through that in a way, you know, because you're showing people what they're interested in. And then if they want to venture into different places on the platform, they can kind of go on that journey on their own. But really, you're catering to what they have a vested interest in, which creates motivation to spend the minute to, you know, create an account and get on. So
100%.
Cool.
Yeah, it's all about tailoring the user experience. That's what the new UI is all about.
So yeah, speaking of, so I see some chatter about the number of characters. I did see that also, that Twitter is talking about like more than 5xing the number of characters allowed. Actually, no, like more like, I think it was like almost 20xing. So
but they what it's going to do, I think, is turn it into a long form post, right? So it's still going to be like a tweet, but then you're going to be able to click like read more, and then it takes you to a post.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, what do we have? I
Which,
mean, and is there a character limit on threads?
yeah, it's 240 on Threads, same as
Okay,
Twitter. Um,
gotcha.
what I envision for Threads, and I don't think we're going to increase the character limit. What I envision is if you want to do 500 words or 1,000 words, that's a post. So you're going to make a post, and then you're going to take the link to the post, and you're going to post it in a thread, and then you're going to promote your post using Threads, which is exactly how I think Twitter is going to end up doing it.
You know, what would be badass, and obviously it could be something that's, long down the list, but if you're basically, you start a thread and for one reason or another, you just, start falling down a rabbit hole, really getting into it. And then when you hit
Yeah,
the character limit, literally it like gives you an option in terms of like, create
convert to
post
post.
or
Yeah,
something like that. Like, you've hit the character limit. Uh, do you want to make post instead or something like that?
yeah,
That'd be crazy.
that would be cool. Yeah, and
That would
I
be
want to do the
definitely cool.
reverse. I also want to do the reverse where if you're writing a post and you're done writing it, you can click a button at the end when you hit publish, like kind of like right now where you can click those check boxes to auto post to Twitter or auto reblog. I want to have another checkbox where you can say auto thread, where it'll take your post and it'll break out every 240 characters and it'll create a thread with all your with the entire post, but made into like 20 different threads that are all linked together. So I think that would be really cool. It would increase. I mean, if you just imagine that, let's just say that half of all people who post on LeoFinance, and I don't remember how many hundreds of posts there are on LeoFinance every day, but let's just say that there's 250 posts on LeoFinance every day. That would be half of the total. I think it's even more than that, but let's just say 250. If all 250 of those posts are also getting converted to threads, just think about how much activity that creates on LeoFinance. I mean, in terms of like, let's say each post is 10 threads at a bare minimum. They're going to probably end up being a lot more than that, but let's say they're 10 threads. So that's 2,500 threads per day that are being automatically generated from people's posts. And now authors are earning from posts and threads simultaneously. Which leads me into another thing that I teased a little bit. We are with the new UI. Another thing we're building out right now is, and we're working on this on the back end. The front end will come soon. Is author monetization tools. So if you look at something like Substack, which has gotten a lot of traction, or even like Seeking Alpha, authors basically have options to paywall some of their content. They don't paywall all of their content. Like they have some that's free. It's like a freemium model, right? So if you take someone like Taskmaster, who writes like, say, 6 posts a day between his 2 accounts, what if he posted 4 articles a day, public on Hive for anyone to enjoy, and then let's say that 2 of his articles he decided to make premium each day. So 2 of his articles he sets to premium. He adds a price tag to it. Maybe it's $1, right? 99 cents per post. So that 99 cents can be paid in Leo or Hive, for example, or HBD. It would either be those 3 or just Leo, probably all 3 of those. And he can set that price. And then if you want to see that article, you have to pay 99 cents. And you just click a button and it sends it obviously from your Hive wallet. Or he could have a monthly subscription where you can subscribe to him for, say, $4.99 a month, kind of like how Substack works. And you get access to those 2 premium articles every single day. And only if you're subscribed do you get access to them. And then say, a few percent, like 2 to 5% or something, gets kept by the Leo ecosystem and automatically buys and burns Leo. And then the 95% of the revenue goes to Taskmaster. And now he's monetizing his account on top of his normal Hive rewards that he always gets, Hive and Leo rewards. So the ecosystem generates because now we've created a revenue generation mechanism for LeoFinance, which I know is something that a lot of people ask for or ask about, is generating revenue with LeoFinance and all the users we have now. And obviously, what's the point of growth if you can't monetize that growth? So that would be that's something that we're building out right now, which is yeah, like Nifty's saying, only Leos. Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? Where you're creating that model for any content creator to monetize themselves. And then you're also making the ecosystem benefit from it by taking a cut off at the top. That's where LeoFinance is headed, is, you know, in broad strokes, like I said, we're headed towards a tailored user experience for every single user, having a settings page where you can choose different things, having a simple algorithm that helps to filter out things that you don't want to see, you know, being able to mute certain tags, being able to see certain community pages and not others, things like that. So it's a curated experience that you're getting on LeoFinance. And then on top of that, having authors have the ability to monetize themselves on the platform. And this is something that doesn't exist on Hive right now, right? Like most or all Hive platforms, you don't, as an author, the way that you monetize yourself is by getting upvotes. So we're not getting rid of that. You're still monetizing yourself by getting upvotes, but now you have additional tools to turn yourself into like a freemium creator, where you are monetizing with upvotes on your free content, and then you're monetizing with subscriptions on your paid content, which is behind a paywall on LeoFinance. So I think that's super interesting. And then you know, and then on top of that, you've got Leo ads, which are generating revenue from all the free content. And then you've got the, you know, the cut of the subscriptions that Leo's generating revenue from on the premium content. So yeah, Eco Instant said I would totally use that to post about certain trades. Yeah, like imagine, especially with our branding, right? It's like Seeking Alpha. So, you know, Mitch or Eco Instant or you know, Neil McSpadden or Gerber, they can create kind of like a premium channel where they can say, I'm going to post one time per day with whatever trade I'm making. Like Gerber has told us recently about some shorts that he did. So imagine that he put that behind a $5 or $10 or $100 a month paywall. And if you want to get access to his trades, you pay that paywall price. And now every day you get the release of his premium article. And the other cool thing about it is there's no Hive police on these premium articles, right? So, you know, we can make it in a way where if you just want to post a screenshot of the trade you made and no text, you're not going to get, you know, Hive policed on your content saying that your content sucks. So there's a lot of flexibility in what we're building. And that's why a lot of focus right now is going into the back end of the new UI. So I know the front end looks really cool. It looks like exactly like Twitter. But on the back end, we're doing some really crazy stuff to kind of set ourselves up for the future. Yeah, Nifty mentioned NFTs. So we've got a few ideas. One of them is to NFT. You can turn any article into an NFT and you can sell the article. And then this coincides with my idea for evergreen content on Hive, which has never been done before, which is where you can earn past 7 days. So I want to make it so that your content on LeoFinance and Hive can earn beyond the 7-day payout window. And one of the ideas I have for doing that coincides with this NFT idea where you can sell each article as an NFT. So like say Taskmaster has an article, he sells it for $5 as an NFT. He, as an author, makes instantly $5. The person who bought the article now owns the rights to all the future payouts of that article. So in the future, if like, let's say that article earns $100 over its lifetime in the next, you know, say 50 years. The person that bought that article for $5 now made obviously a $95 profit because it's earning constant revenue. So it's kind of like a property, right? Where like you can own the property and you can rent it out and you can earn rental income, or you can sell the property immediately, get your cash and move on. So as Taskmaster being the author, he can hold his property, which is his articles, and earn the consistent evergreen revenue from it, or he can sell it, get an instant payout, and then whoever bought it gets access to the revenue that it earns in the long run. So a lot of, and if you can tell the kind of similar line that Cub and Leo are on, and where we're kind of headed with all this stuff is building a real business with real revenue, predictable revenue, and sustainable ecosystem models. So this is kind of getting to that bigger idea that we're kind of tackling with Cub generating $9,000 a month now, whereas before it was generating like $50 a month from Kingdoms. And now with Leo, we're generating thousands of dollars a month with ads, but we're also going to add these premium features where it's generating even more money, and buying and burning Leo. We're headed towards sustainability. That's really the focus.
Sustainability, probably a good thing.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
Continued life. Yeah, big things. A lot of things happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited. And we missed the last week's AMA. I was very sick. But despite being sick, we still got a shitload of stuff done on the UI. So I'm very, very happy with the progress that the new UI is making. That's why I'm very confident we're going to have it out before Christmas. So yeah, and I didn't really show
having fun.
Yeah. Here's the new notifications UI. I've shown a few teasers on Twitter, screenshots of it. But we really went for, kind of copying some things that Twitter does really well. So if you use Twitter and you like people replying to you is an easy thing to see in your notifications UI. Like you just go to your notifications and there's like a mentions tab and you just hit that and then you can see anyone who replied to you. And then from there, you can just click the reply button and you can make a quick reply to keep engaged with them. And if you posted a tweet from, like, let's say you posted a tweet from like 6 months ago, if someone randomly replies to it 6 months later, it still shows up in your notifications UI. So that's how our new notifications UI works, where like, no matter when you posted a thread, someone replies to it and it pops right up at the top of your notifications UI. And you can quickly send a reply back, you can upvote it, and you can move on. And this new notifications UI, I think, is going to increase drastically the engagement on threads. One thing you see with threads is like after a few days of a thread being posted, the author kind of misses all the comments. And a big reason for that is just that we have a shitty notifications process right now. But with the new one, super nice. I've been using it to reply to people. And I think it's, for me, it's completely changed the way I use threads. Like I feel like now I can actually like keep up with people who are replying to me, which is super nice.
Yeah, you're not wrong about the comments and responses. I mean, usually the first day I've posted something and then after that, rarely do I look back to see if there's additional comments.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool too. Like, I think for normies, like what's going to be really cool. And if you look at that image I just shared, it says one notification I have, like 3 notifications down. It says, Shohana voted on your thread. And then in parentheses, it says 3 cents. I think that's really cool for normies, where they're going to be creating threads and then they hit their notifications and they see, XYZ user voted you 1 cent. XYZ user voted you 2 cents. And you're like, you keep posting threads and replies to threads. And suddenly you start seeing like 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents. It's all like rolling in. And I think that just will encourage you to keep making more and more threads. And then if you ever get the courage to make a post, you'll see, like $5 came in, $10 came in. And, you'll just kind of get sucked into that idea of earning, it's micro earnings. So I'm really excited about that. And I've seen a few people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
I was going to jump to the mobile app. So I've seen a few people.
That's actually perfect because that's literally what I was about to ask.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I think it's a phone issue because I just have an old phone and I refuse to upgrade. So, I mean, I feel like that might solve my problem because I haven't upgraded in my near future. I should probably, get off the S9 and get somewhere near mid double digit phone upgrade. But I'm getting the exact same thing that Colas gets. and I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do on the mobile app. The latest Hive hard fork broke a lot of shit with the app. Obviously, it's all hands on deck for the new UI right now. A big focus, obviously, the mobile app is still a focus, but a big focus for us right now is building a much better LeoFinance.io. Personally, the way I see it is that your LeoFinance.io on your phone. So like you'll use your mobile browser and you'll open LeoFinance.io. I think that's going to be superior to the mobile app. That being said, I mean, we're still working on the mobile app, but I really personally believe that LeoFinance.io is going to be the go-to, whether you're on mobile or desktop. And I haven't really shared what the new UI looks like for mobile, but if you've ever gone to, and I don't think a lot of people do this, but if you've ever gone to twitter.com using your mobile browser, the UI is actually super nice. I mean, it looks identical to the actual app. And this is what we're doing with the new UI. So I'm going to post a screenshot. The new UI will look almost identical to this when you open LeoFinance.io from your mobile browser. So if you look at that, I mean, it actually looks like you're in an app. So that's what LeoFinance.io will look like. So Mitch or Colas, like when you guys go to LeoFinance, I think instead of the mobile app, you're going to choose to use LeoFinance.io on your mobile browser, just because it's going to be so much superior.
Works for me.
Yeah, so I think that's where we're headed. And that will also be ready by Christmas. So you'll be able
Hell,
to
I think I was
play
using
around with it.
Twitter from the URL for like a year. And then I finally just got annoyed with the pop-up all the time about download the app. And then I finally downloaded the app, which obviously is cleaner and easier, but I have no problems using the URL. So
Yeah, I think it's superior. That's how I use LeoFinance right now. I don't really use the mobile app that much. Obviously, I have the testing version of it, but personally, I think the URL is a lot better.
yeah, but on the flip side, we know how it goes. I mean, people love using apps, especially the youngins. So that'll definitely be helpful when that finally is all squared away at some point. So now with the new UI, obviously, you know, the homepage is going to show threads and stuff like that. So as far as like blogs go, you know, basically I'm going to see those where, like, when I hit my feed, basically I'm going to see my people I follow. But as far as like, there's really going to be no like main page for the blogs anymore.
No, so actually there will be. So the main page for the blogs, let's see if I've got see if we can pull this up.
And I mean, I don't really have opinion on whether that's good or bad. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to get squared away with
the here. It's not ready yet, so I'm going to show you the mock-up. Here we go. So just keep in mind, this is a mock-up, not final version. And it looks a little rough, but this is essentially what it's going to look like. So this is the explore page, and I just shared it in Discord.
okay.
And you can see on the explore page, it shows at the top, it shows like a featured article, kind of like how the homepage looks on the current LeoFinance. So that will be the #1 curated article. So obviously we have the curation team, and they curate stuff on LeoFinance and then choose what's in the curated feed. So that #1 article is going to be the most featured article from the curated feed. In most cases, it's probably going to be some sort of official LeoFinance update. Otherwise, it's going to be whatever the curators thought was the best article in the last like 24 hours on LeoFinance. Then you'll have your trending feed below it. And it'll show you the top 3 trending articles. So the ones earning the most Leo. And we may tweak that trending algorithm to also include most commented and engaged with. So that'll come later though. And the initial phase will just be the most earnings on Leo, which is how the current trending feed works. Below that, so you'll get 3 articles, right? That'll be your top 3 trending. Then you see it says show more trending, and you can click that. And if you click that, it'll take you to leofinance.io/trending, which is exactly what the current UI does, which it shows you all articles trending ranked by how much Leo they're earning. Below that, on the explore page, you have new, which is like the created feed, and you'll have the same thing. It'll show the most 3 recently created articles. Below it, you can say show more created or show more new, and then it'll show you new articles, obviously leofinance.io/created. So that's how that will work. So the explore page is exclusively posts. The home page is exclusively threads. The curated page is exclusively posts. The notifications UI shows both posts and threads. So if someone replies to your post, you see it in your notifications. If someone replies to your thread, you see it in your notifications. And they're labeled, they're color labeled. It's actually pretty cool how that works. And then bookmarks is obviously like you can bookmark posts or threads that you want to come back to later. And those are all kind of included in the same feed. Profile page will show posts and threads. You can kind of click different tabs to tab off on them. One thing that I really like, this is an idea I had for the new UI, is that shortcut. So if you see in that last screenshot I posted, there's a little like shortcuts module, and that is fully customized by the user. So you can create your own shortcuts. And the way we came up with that is just to think, we spent some time thinking like, how is the average person using LeoFinance on a daily basis? And, I spent some time thinking about how I use it. I spent some time asking a few people how they use it. And one of the big things that people do is they have certain people and certain pages bookmarked, right? So like a lot of people go to the, if they have a favorite author like Taskmaster, they have like leofinance.io/@taskmaster4450 bookmarked.
Or like Scaredy Cat Guide.
Yeah, or @ScaredyCatGuide. So they have those authors bookmarked, and then they also might have something like the created feed under the Bitcoin tag. Some people were saying that that's how they find new content, is that they look at the created feed, but a lot of times they have a certain tag that they look at first. So then you can shortcut any of those. So like if you want to see in that screenshot, you see like Bitcoin new. If you click that, it'll take you straight to the created feed for Bitcoin posts. Or if you want the Splinterlands community page, you can have that shortcut right there. So you just click it and it takes you right there. So I think that's going to vastly improve. It's a very small detail, but I think that vastly improves the user experience. Just because from how many people I talk to that have like all sorts of crazy bookmarks to go to certain places on Hive, or even a lot of people have like their own wallet page that they have bookmarked because they don't want to like click profile, then they have to click the wallet tab. So instead of having 2 clicks, you just add your own wallet page to the shortcut, and then you just hit wallet and it goes right to your own wallet. So it's like all these little tiny details that we spent a lot of time thinking about for this new UI. It's the name of the game with this new UI, is to create a simple, intuitive, and customizable user experience for everybody. So a lot of things with this UI are customized, and they're very like the whole UI is very modular in that you can choose what you want to see. You can choose your shortcuts. You can choose, the layout of posts. You can eventually have your own themes and theme packs and all sorts of really cool stuff like that. That's really the name of the game. And really, like I said, making it as intuitive as possible for new users who want to come in and start getting on the platform and earning Leo. That's where a lot of focus is going.
Hell yeah. Well, it is 9 minutes to the hour. So let's start winding down.
Yeah. You want to
Obviously,
close us out with what you think is going on with Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, obviously there was news in the crypto world with SBF getting the metal bracelets.
Finally. Took long enough.
right? That was bananas. So Bahamian police
It's called like the
got him, and then
Bohemian Royal Guard,
yeah,
isn't it?
yes, that is actually right.
Yeah.
I was just generalizing. You pretty much nailed it. Um, yeah, and the U.S. has already charged him with fraud, and extradition is like super expected to happen.
Yeah.
So, is that what caused a pump in Bitcoin, this last 24 hours? Maybe, maybe not. But, him getting arrested certainly doesn't mean bear market is over, because that damage is done and that damage is, continuing to have ripple effects. So, I don't know. The one good thing I see is that, Bitcoin was able to hold that 16.5 area, which was the area that I targeted as a potential support when we were floating at 20K. I really didn't think it was going to actually play out. I thought maybe we'd see like a hiccup there, but yeah, it's hanging in and we bounced
Yeah.
off of it. So that's badass. Is this the bottom? I do not know, but it's nice to see a base forming. But I still think, we're still quite a ways away from seeing a bull market, um, even if we stop going down. And that's good and bad. It's good because you can continue to stack. It's bad because, regardless of all the awesome growth and things being built in the LeoFinance ecosystem, obviously a, you know, buzzing crypto market makes growth that much easier. So either way, we're going to be, set up really well for the next run in crypto, which is not a matter of if, just when.
Yeah.
That's kind of my opinion in regards to that. So, meantime, I guess it's just stake and stack and stack and stake.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. I was saying pre-show that I got a chunk of fiat coming in that my strategy is going to be, and I've got, a couple things coming in fiat wise that I'm going to throw into crypto. What I'm doing now is buying Bitcoin, and then I'm putting it into WBTC on Ethereum. And then I'm deploying it into MakerDAO Vault, taking out a DAI loan against it. So I was telling Mitch, I can take out, I play things on the very safe side when it comes to leverage. So you can take out about 1/3 the value of what you put into it pretty safely. So like your liquidation price for Bitcoin would be like under 10K. So I'm putting that money into that vault, taking out 1/3 the value of it in DAI, and then converting the DAI to HBD, and then LPing it on Cub for the the 25% yield, the 25% APY. So that's kind of my little hack in this bear market, because I want a lot of exposure to Bitcoin right now, but I also still want to earn yield and be able to LP. So this kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So that's where I'm putting my investment capital right now in this state of the current market. I don't really see Bitcoin going a whole lot lower personally, but could be wrong.
Yeah, you could be right. I'm hoping you're not. I'm hoping that I'm wrong too. I'm hoping 16.5 eventually does break, because I really wanted to buy much lower, but I guess I should have just been pecking away the whole time while we were bouncing around in the 16s. But I definitely haven't, like I said, I've said for weeks, I got a nice hefty order sitting down in the mid 13s. I was really hoping we'd spike down to it, but who knows? I mean, really, nothing's changed. All we're doing is consolidating a big sell off. So we did that in the summertime for months and months and months until we finally saw a sell off. But there was also a big catalyst with FTX. So if all the landmines are, already discovered, then, maybe we don't go lower,
Yeah.
because generally, you need a catalyst, not always, but generally. So, and it also depends on what, the economy and the market does. Obviously, stock market, bounced pretty nice over the last month or so, but it's, still in that descending channel. It's fighting to break out of it. So if it busts out of that, I think that'll be positive for crypto as well, because regardless of what anyone really thinks, crypto and equity markets still track together. to an extent. So, but yeah. In the meantime, keep stacking, keep earning yield.
100%. There's a lot of Binance FUD right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
I just posted a thread about it. I don't personally, I don't really buy into it. You know, Binance is a very different animal than FTX, and I think people are thinking that it's going to, you know, have the same problem, but there was $1.6 billion in net outflow from the exchange in the last 24 hours.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, I don't really buy into it though.
No doubt.
I think this well covers it. Hopefully next time we meet for the AMA, we will be over 20K.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, what is that? Tuesday the 20th. So
Tuesday
that's
the 20th.
yes, that will
That'll be our
be
last show before Christmas.
potentially because the 27th is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I have to check my travel schedule because I am flying back from New York on the 27th. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think my flight's late afternoon though. So
All right.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Might
just
be
let
able
me
to
know.
AMA from up there.
Sounds good.
Either way, until next week, may your Leo stacks grow mighty and your Cubs be happy.
100%. Don't forget about LPUD, the 15th, 2 days from now.
That's right. LPUD on Thursday. Get your shot at winning a delegation. Someone will be getting my thousand Leo, which is one of the smaller prizes. There are bigger prizes, folks. So power up.
All of the prizes.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right. Well, see you all next week.
See you next week. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Later.
Peace.